Raised in the bubble. We're still doing a week of talking about babies and working on just completely rewriting our word our world view, from rewriting the way we see thoughts that go through our head and understand that that's just language. That's language that we've been given, to reforming the stories that we've heard from history that tell us who human beings are and inform us who we are as well. So I'd like to point you at a new book and a new author and a totally new concept coming from Darsha Narvaez, who is a co-author of Restoring the Kinship Worldview. And you're going to, start diving into this online because there is a ton of interesting work from Darsha. And her idea, she calls it the evolved nest. And she's talking about this in the last video. And remember, you kind of got to watch this particular series in order. But we were talking about how the baby is the center of the universe, the magnetic pull of a baby. And so imagine people being raised in this nest of just so much care, way more care than one single mother has the ability to give to a baby, way more care than a mother and father or even a family can give. I mean, we're talking like the center of all attention, every baby. And then as that baby grows, they then become the support of this evolved nest that takes care of everyone else. So when human beings are born and nurtured within this nest, I almost want to call it the human bubble, because it's like everybody is in this bubble, part of this bubble with each other, in this cooperative, loving community with each other through every stage of your life. You're part of this bubble. And imagine how different that gives the human experience. I mean, even me talking about it, I can just feel my hormones relaxing in my body. So there's a few things we need to understand about this evolved nest. None of us were raised in it, right? And none of us alive today ever get to be raised in that. Didn't happen. Doesn't exist. But this is so important to understand. You are not a baby now. You are an adult. You are the person who is now supposed to be creating this evolved nest, creating this bubble. And that part of the bubble is just as fulfilling as being the baby inside of it, because nothing is separate from anything else. This is what we learn in non-duality. Imagine for just a moment that this awakened point of nothingness that's described in non-duality is awake in you. And you see that everything is intertwined. Well, that means you're just as vital to this bubble as you are right now as you would have been when you were a baby. So your job now is to create this bubble, to work on bringing human beings back together into this state of oneness with each other and with the entire natural world, the air and the water and the earth and all the things that we are part of, is part of this evolved nest, of this human bubble. This is a way broader view of the goal of non-duality than what we're usually taught from, the historical sources of this tradition. And this is why I'm talking about non-duality and native wisdom, how we can start working these two ideas together. And again, I want to emphasize, native wisdom does not need non-duality. We need the ideas of non-duality so that we can step out of our conditionings and into a place where we can start embracing the need for this human bubble, for this evolved nest, and we can start participating in this fully from wherever we are right now. Like wherever you are right now, feel that place. You are in a solid place, being held onto the earth by gravity, surrounded by air. You've been nourished up until this point. Maybe not perfectly, but like what? Like, so what? So what? We weren't nourished perfectly. We are now the nourishers. That is just as vital and just as exciting of a place to be. And if we can start bringing this worldview in, just think how powerful it is. Everybody's like, oh my God, population explosion. There's 8 billion people. There's 8 billion nourishers available. So you and me need to be right here, solid and strong, and bringing this in as much as possible. So start broadening this idea of who am I? You are part of this evolved neural network that spreads across the entire globe, human beings. And we are this integral part of nature. And we can start living our lives this way. And the more people who start walking this road, the more we're going to learn how to talk about it in ways that make sense to other people. Like, don't think that I'm sort of anything. I'm just a video on YouTube. I'm like literally nothing. You're sitting there and you're picking this up. Now, the way you express this with other people turns it into a vital whole. This is the human bubble that we're all creating together. Non-duality is simply a tool to tell you that you are not your conditionings. You are something way more vast than that. The native worldview is a fabulous story that helps us rebuild our actual connection with everything that's around us and everyone that's around us. So we are all part of this evolved nest right now. And when we talk about things like, the 7 generations, people like to say stuff like that when they're talking about native wisdom. Oh, we got to think about the 7 generations. Well, let's really, really think about them in this broad and dynamic of a way. What is it we're doing for this evolved nest this very moment? All of our actions feed into it, create it. So anytime we're acting selfishly, we're taking from it. And maybe that's a really good way to think of it too. Think of non-duality is a way to step beyond your habitual selfishness. Everything in your mind, you've been trained to be selfish because you've been told that you're an individual and to get everything for yourself and survival of the fittest, all this stuff I've been talking about in these last couple of weeks. You've been taught and taught and taught that you are this individual and you have to fight for your own. Non-duality is this tool to go, no, it's the end of selfishness. Your actual being is so intertwined with the entire universe that selfishness literally cannot exist. So we're looking to cut selfishness away, cut it away, cut it away. Anytime you're thinking about me, mine, all these things, now you're like, language, look what it's doing to me. Slice it away and slice it away and slice it away. And what's true? What's really true? And you'll find out that what is true is the human heart, the human feeling of connectedness, honor, truth, community, family. These things are true. You all by yourself is a lie. You can't be all by yourself. You literally can't. I mean, even if you die, you're still not all by yourself. Your molecules are somewhere. People that you have met, going to be sad. There is literally no way that you can separate yourself from everything. So non-duality is a tool to say, okay, find it. Find it by unhooking yourself from these habitual thoughts, finding out who is there within you that's you. Again, I love, the saying attributed to Saint Francis. What you're looking for is where you're looking from. Access this as often as possible. Step into it. This is you. A blooming, awake, connected being. Creating this human bubble of awareness. This is how non-duality and native wisdom intersect.